Watson is the founder of Your Better Life, a company committed to empowering people to be successful in life. But Tom is also a survivor. He was a victim of child abuse and lived in 13 different foster homes during his youth. He joins me today with strategies that can help men become godly men and be people of influence. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me on.
Wow, so you were a victim of child abuse. You grew up in 13 different foster homes. I was trying to wrap my brain around that. Yeah. But yet you have a message to men. So I'd imagine that you used many of those experiences to share with men how they can live better lives. So take me back to your youth, and let's work our way up to that.
Well, you know, I was, unfortunately, like many children across North America, really abandoned by my birth parents, taken out of their home because they weren't really doing a good job, and unfortunately, thousands and thousands of young children every year do that. And so I think that's something to pray about in our country.
Indeed.
But, you know, I traveled through 12 foster homes before I got to the Watsons, my 13th foster home when I was 5. So I went through 13 foster homes by the time I was 5.
Wow.
And on average, foster children end up going through at least 17 foster homes, and then they get placed into a group home.
Now, let's stop right there. Tell me, what's it like, if you can remember, going from foster home? What does it feel like to be a foster child?
Well, what happens, I think, as a foster child is that you quickly, and I talk about that in Man Shoes, the book, how you feel unwanted, how you never find love. You feel, as a little child, you just feel like, you know, no one cares about you. And so, you know, it's quite a challenge. I was quite a little monster by the time I ended up at the Watsons place, let me tell you. I mean, I was stealing out of stores. At 5 years of age, you know, I was beating up children. I was biting people. I mean, I was just a total rascal right by that point. And so I ended up with the Watsons, elderly couple going into their 60s, and they were retiring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mr. Watson was a pastor, and Mrs. Watson was a teacher, and they retired to a farm, and I pretty much had 2 stay-at-home parents. And Mr. Watson was an old Irish guy, and big thick fingers, and every now and then had to use that on those hands, those big paws on my butt. Always in love, though. And so, you know, it took a lot of years for me to really recover from that tough start.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Watsons, because they represent so many godly people who have opened their homes up to orphaned children. Yeah. Did they, I mean, were you like visiting the church, or was it intentional that did they set out to adopt a child at that age?
Yeah, no, it really ended up with social services needing to find a home for me, or I was going to be in a group home. So basically the social worker was told, if you don't find him a home this week, he has to go into a group home. And
at 5 years old?
At 5 years of age, yeah. Because there's just so many children that they have nothing that they can do with them. And so they ended up on the Watson's doorstep. They had heard about the Watson family and what a good family they were, and just out of the blue ended up on their doorstep, knocking on their door. And Mrs. Watson was at school, Mr. Watson was at home, and they came in, told him the story of little Tommy, the boy who'd been through so many foster homes and had been beaten and abused in the last foster home. And Mr. Watson went to the kitchen, phoned the school, and talked to Mrs. Watson and said, "So what do you think we should do about this?" And she said, "Make up his bed. No child should be left to live like that." And so that was how I ended up in their home.
So what are some of the truths, I mean, what did they instill in you that makes you a better father today?
Well, you know, the thing about, for me, was this realization as I became a dad of the importance of stability at home. I didn't have that. And I nearly ended up in our penitentiary system, or dead, or both, you know. And so stability at home is what I learned from the Watsons, is that even in my darkest hours, as they mentored and loved and groomed me, the the stability that they gave me at home is what helped me recover. And so many children are not stable at home, even though their parents are there. So growing the stability at home. And then they taught me this lesson that I live by every day, which is your choice plus your actions equals your life. And so many of us struggle with our choices, and then we act on some of our poor choices, and that becomes a blemish in our life. And so I think that lesson of your choice plus your actions equals your life really helps guide me as a dad. Because when my children come to me and they want to spend time with me, and I've had a long day and I'm not really feeling like it, or it's the middle of the night and you're up in the middle of the night dealing with a sick child and I don't really feel like it, it's what I choose and how I choose to do that work, that we're called to do as dads. If my wife is not exceptionally excited to see me at the end of the night, all frisky for her because she's had a long day. I have to kind of say to myself, okay, there's reasons here, and maybe just because I'm frisky, she's not, and we'll have another day, So choosing to be positive about how these types of things occur in your life as a man. Too often we can think about life as a very negative thing, in a negative way. And so really, my choice plus my actions equals my life. If I'm making the right choices, if I'm choosing a godly heart, a spirit of joy rather than a spirit of depression or negativity, more often than not, that really turns out for you.
Well, in Man Shoes, it's like you're speaking to men and you're challenging them to definitely step up to the plate and to be, fathers to their children. So many times, so often as a single mom, I always felt like if a man did something halfway right, that he kind of got a lot of applause when it's your reasonable service as a father to be a dad to your children. Isn't that correct?
That's what I love about us guys. We've got you girls totally convinced that doing half a job is a good job.
I'm like, no, dude, you're supposed to do this.
But isn't that smart of us?
Yeah, but you don't let them off the hook with this.
No.
Okay, so let's start. Let's talk about your project. It's called Man Shoes, The Journey to Becoming a Better Man, Husband, and Father.
Yeah.
Why is it called Man Shoes?
Man shoes. Well, it could be called woman shoes as well.
That's correct.
If you're heading out with your parents when you're younger and they're taking you shopping and they buy you shoes, they always buy the shoes a little bit bigger for your feet because you're going to grow into those. And, at 18, I talk about this in the book, at 18 years of age, I stopped growing. And so for the first time in my life, the Watsons bought me shoes that fit my feet perfectly. And by golly, those shoes actually felt really comfortable, the best shoes I'd ever had. And metaphorically speaking, actually, at that point in my life, I thought I pretty much knew everything there was to being a young man. I was going to have the perfect house, I was going to have the perfect wife, I was going to have a perfect career, perfect children. Everything was going to be perfect. What I realized when I left the Watsons' house, at 18, was that as soon as I got out into the real world, life started throwing things at me and my shoes started to grow. And my feet were behind it, and there was this gap between the end of my toe and the end of my shoe of what I was being called to be as a man. And that calling of what we're going to be as a man, I don't believe, or a woman, I don't believe really truly stop, our shoes truly do not stop growing until we take our final breath here on earth, because we are called to so many things, and our shoes just keep on growing in our lives. So that's the concept behind the name Man Shoes.
Well, also the concept is, for the book, is that you were leaving a legacy to your boys, right?
Yeah.
You talk about the tragedies. You lost your first wife?
My first wife, Darlene, died at 28. So my first two sons are from Darlene. They were 5 and 2 when Darlene passed away. So I was a single dad for a while and lived that life. And luckily, or thankfully, God provided Kathy, my second wife, to me, who we have a son, Jordan.
Okay. So what are some of the things that you share with your sons that, you want to share with other men in your project?
Well, first is that, that life's a journey. and it can be lived in negativity, or it can be lived in a joyful way. So we have to step up as men, and if we really truly want to be successful, both as a man and a husband and as a father, that we have to step up and we have to live this life that we've been given. We've been chosen to be the husband and the father. The idea of traditions, I talk a lot about traditions in this book.
I love that. Will you pass them down?
Yeah. So building traditions and being a father who actually instills tradition within your family, I think that's such an important key. And it doesn't have to be these big, glamorous traditions. I mean, they can be little things. I was just talking on the way over today with the cab driver, and I was saying how on your American Thanksgiving, I'm a Canadian, but on your American Thanksgiving, my tradition is that I celebrate your Thanksgiving, because for me, you got great football games on. And so the day before, I'm out buying all my favorite junk food, and I sit on the couch and I have junk food and watch your football games and celebrate your Thanksgiving. For me, my sons love that. And so they celebrate with me because I'm celebrating something. So it's a tradition in our family.
Well, we have about a minute left. Why don't you look into your camera and just speak to that husband, that father who wants to do a better job. Encourage that man right today.
I'd just like to say to you, you know, I know that in these economic times and the struggles that we're having as a nation, that maybe you're being stretched. Maybe you're being pushed farther than you thought you could ever go. You're traveling farther for work, or you're out of work and you're searching for work, or maybe you're having to work 2 jobs. And this struggle between being the business guy or the career guy and bringing home the bacon is getting to you, and it's forcing you into a life of struggle at home. You come home unhappy, frustrated. I've been there. I've done those things as well. And I just encourage you to turn to God. Realize that building your life on a firm foundation, our Heavenly Father calls us to build our homes on firm foundations. So build your home life. Focus on building your home life. Stay strong in your home life, and that will help you as you build into your professional career. And God bless you.
Thank you so much, Tom. And for more information about Tom, you can visit manshoes.net, or you can go to harvest-tv.com and click on Show Info in the menu bar for an easy way to link to his site and to get a copy of his new project, Man Shoes. Harvest will continue in just a moment.